The end of the strike may be in sight. The UAW says it has reached a tentative deal with General Motors.
Workers will stay on the picket lines until at least Thursday. 2 union committees will meet to vote on the deal, and then it must be approved by the 49,000 members at GM.
We have team coverage tonight, starting with TV5's Rachel McCrary, who's live in Flint. Rachel.
David and Meg, workers here at the GM assembly plant in Flint and workers across the country could be getting out of the cold and heading back to work if that tentative agreement goes through, ending the longest work stoppage in decades.
I hope we get a quick settlement and hope it's beneficial to some of the issues like the temporary workers and wage parity and things like that.
Jesse Hall has worked at GM for over 40 years. He's optimistic about the news of a tentative agreement. While details on what is included are not being released quite yet, Hall hopes the union bargainers made gains for its members.
Well, yeah, we'd like to see some work stay in the country and quit getting outsourced overseas. We'd definitely love to see that.
Hall is close to retirement, so many of the sticking points may not directly impact him, like in-progression workers, workers who do not receive their full pay until after 8 years on the job. He says he comes out in the cold and rain to help out the next generation of UAW members.
For the younger workers, I mean, you know, the cost of living is so high now, and, you know, honestly, $15, $20 an hour, nobody can actually live off that kind of stuff.
At the picket lines, enthusiasm for the UAW's cause haven't slowed. Even with a possible end in sight, UAW leaders telling its members to keep on striking. And out here today, they say they're okay with that.
You know, it's always got to be a sacrifice for a purpose. Always a sacrifice. Somebody have to pay for it.
I think as long as it addresses the needs of what we've laid out.
There's also no guarantee that the first contract deal with GM will pass. The UAW is expected to take the agreement to union leaders in Detroit tomorrow before it goes to a full vote. At the picket lines, some hope the approval is sooner than later.
It's time for us to get back to work. We're playing around.
Hopefully, negotiations are coming to an end and we can get out of this cold.
So what's next? Right now we're talking to an expert in this field. We're talking to Chris Douglas, Associate Professor of Economics at U of M Flint. So Chris, tell us, you know, what's next? I know they're meeting tomorrow, union leaders. Is it going to be a done deal tomorrow?
It depends what the union rank and file think. So it has to be voted on by the rank and file. If the rank and file vote to ratify the contract, they're back to work essentially right away. But if they vote the contract down, well, that's back to the drawing board and the strike continues. So I think a lot of it hinges on what the union leadership tomorrow thinks of the contract, and then in turn what the union members think of it.
Okay, so it's been 31 days that they've been picketing. Economically, what's the impact going to be? Is there going to be a lot of catch-up if they do agree to this agreement?
Yeah, it's hard to know how much the strike has drawn down General Motors' inventory. If they have to ramp up production right away, work overtime to build up the inventory that was drawn down while the car company sold cars but wasn't producing cars. I think that inventory could probably be made up pretty quickly to get the suppliers back online also, because a lot of the suppliers shut down since there's no demand for parts with production shut down. I think that wraps up pretty quickly as well. And then, of course, the local businesses around the auto plants have been hurt with production shut down and the workers on strike. A lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, party stores have been feeling the pinch. The sooner the workers get back to work, the sooner these businesses start to see a profit again. But I think all this happens real quickly if the contract is ratified.
Okay, well, thank you, Chris. And we'll, of course, learn more tomorrow, and we'll bring you the latest. We'll be downtown, and we'll be following this all day. Reporting in Flint, Rachel McCrary, WNEM TV5.